The NBA has an AJ Dybantsa problem. Washington just made it worse. The Wizards won the 2026 NBA Draft Lottery on Sunday night.
That means that the number one pick in the 2026 NBA Draft goes to the Washington Wizards.
And that one result changed the temperature around the franchise. 17 wins, 65 losses, worst record in basketball. A team that spent most nights looking like it needed a map, a plan, and somebody's uncle yelling from the couch. Now they own the first overall pick. Good for Washington, annoying for everybody else, because the Wizards did not wake up as a contender. Nobody's saying that. Please don't start printing playoff shirts yet. They woke up with a real timeline. Bad teams drift. Bad teams with a number one prospect start making decisions around the real center of gravity. They stop throwing random pieces at the wall and calling it development. Now Washington can finally ask the question that matters. Who fits next to AJ Dybantsa? But before we start, if you love basketball and you're one of the 90% who watch without subscribing, it's time to join the NBA Inside family. Now let's talk about the player, because Dybantsa is a different kind of number one pick conversation. Most top prospects arrive with a warning label attached. Too raw, too small, can't shoot, can't defend, needs the ball, doesn't pass, motor questions, can he handle NBA physicality? Which usually means some scout watched one ugly January game and built a whole personality around it. With Dybantsa, the list is shorter than it should be. He's 6'9". He averaged 25.5 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists at BYU. He led the nation in scoring. He started all 35 games. He finished with 894 points and broke BYU's freshman scoring record.
Of those defenders, two of them, and that allowed Kamara to get an easy one.
Dybantsa right at the basket in this.
That's real production, not mixtape production. Not two dunks, one step back, and a slow-mo stare into the crowd. Real games, real burden, real attention, and he did it at BYU. That matters. He had Duke, he had North Carolina, he had the usual blue blood runway sitting right there. Cameras, history, national hype, the whole machine. He picked BYU. You know, I respect that. Maybe he liked the fit. Maybe he liked the challenge. Maybe his people saw something there. Whatever the reason, he didn't take the easiest marketing route. He chose a place where he had to carry more of the load. Then he carried it. Now, some people are gonna bring up the shot selection. Fine, there are possessions where Dybantsa takes a shot and you can almost hear the assistant coach's blood pressure go up. He's 19. He had the green light. He was the main option. Sometimes young scorers act like every late clock possession's a personal argument with the defense. That comes with the package. Kevin Durant had shot questions at Texas. Luka Doncic had adjustment questions before the NBA. Almost every special prospect gives people one or two things to overthink. Dybantsa's full picture is where the headache starts.
Taken away, Dybantsa has it. Dybantsa into the open court and one. AJ Dybantsa.
The scoring gets the loudest reaction. Everybody sees the step back. Everybody sees the transition floater. Everybody sees the burst when he gets a shoulder past his man and the help defense looks late, tired, and a little embarrassed. The quieter stuff makes him dangerous. He rebounds. He passes. He reads the floor. And for a 6'9" wing, that mix changes the scouting report. Those 3.7 assists per game at BYU were not empty handoffs and polite swing passes. He created advantages, drew bodies, and made real reads out of them. Skip pass to the weak side, hit the cutter, find the big after the low man steps up, keep the ball alive instead of stopping everything to prove he's the star. That matters. A lot of young wings score first and pass only when the defense traps him into it. Dybantsa already shows more layers than that. The defense needs work, let's be honest. He needs strength. He needs sharper off-ball focus. He needs to stay locked in when the play moves away from him. He can drift. He can trust his tools too much. That gets punished in the NBA, because grown men don't care about your draft ranking. Still, the tools are there. length, ground coverage, weak side shot contests, enough movement skill to guard real wings once the habits tighten. That's why teams bet on him. You draft a 19-year-old because the foundation's too good to ignore. Washington just got that foundation. Now the franchise has to act like adults. I know. Wild concept. The Wizards were 17-65. That's not a rough patch. That's check the score in the second quarter and go make dinner bad. Dybantsa does not erase all of that by walking into the building. He gives the whole thing direction. Cleveland went 17-65 before drafting LeBron in 2003. That doesn't mean Dybantsa's LeBron. Relax. Nobody needs to light the debate table on fire. The point is the structure. A dead franchise gets a young player talented enough to organize the future.
He's working on Donaldson, and he's got an and one up.
That's how rebuilds stop wandering. Who spaces for him? Who defends with him? Who runs next to him? Who grows on his timeline? Who needs to get moved before the new era gets cluttered with bad habits and worse contracts? Those questions are uncomfortable, and Washington finally has a reason to ask them. Before this lottery, the Wizards' rebuild felt like fog. After it, there's a road. Maybe the road has potholes. Maybe the car still makes weird noises when it turns left. It's Washington, so nobody should act like the Ferrari just pulled up. Still, a direction beats confusion every time. A 6'9" scorer who rebounds and passes doesn't need perfect help to become annoying. He draws attention. He bends matchups. He forces smaller wings to contest over the top. He forces bigger forwards to move their feet. He gives role players cleaner looks because the defense has to care about him every possession.
Dybantsa at that free throw line area. Good defense by Posey. Count the basket.
That's where the East should start paying attention. Maybe not next year. Maybe not the year after. But soon enough, some expensive playoff team's gonna look at Washington and realize the joke got serious. The comparison people will reach for is LeBron to Cleveland. I get why. Worst team. Best prospect. One lottery night changes the franchise mood. Easy headline. Everybody understands it. The cleaner basketball parallel might be Wembanyama in San Antonio. Different body, different style, different position, but the same kind of translation problem. When Wemby arrived, the league had no clean template. Teams could watch film, read reports, hold meetings, say all the smart words, and still look confused once he's standing across from him. Dybantsa creates his own version of that. He's not 7'4". He's not blocking shots from another zip code. His problem comes from being a 6'9" wing who can score at all three levels, rebound like a forward, pass like a guard, and keep adding strengths. Put a smaller wing on him, he shoots over the top. Put a bigger forward on him, he attacks the gap. Send a help, he finds the pass. Play him straight, and now one defender has to deal with the freshman who led the whole country in scoring. Good luck with that.
I don't think Brad Brownell was happy with that possession. Dybantsa and one.
That ain't a highlight problem. That's a scouting problem. Washington has to be careful now. Landing the guy is the fun part. Building around him's the part where franchises usually start tripping over furniture. Rush the timeline, sign the wrong veteran, trade the wrong pick, pretend you're one move away because the building finally has energy again. That's how a rebuild turns into a group project where nobody reads the instructions. Washington can't do that. Give Dybantsa spacing. Give him defenders. Give him real on-ball reps. Give him room to fail without turning every bad night into a court date. Give him a point guard who doesn't dribble the air out of the ball. Give him wings who guard somebody. Give him a big who understands angles, screens, and where to stand. Basic team building. Not glamorous, but very necessary. Because if Washington gets the environment right, this can get uncomfortable fast. The league loves acting surprised when a young star becomes a problem. Like the numbers weren't there. Like the film wasn't yelling. Like everybody didn't have years to see it coming. Dybantsa hasn't played an NBA minute yet. The draft's next month. The jersey's not even official yet. Somehow, the rest of the league already has a new name to track. Washington didn't become good overnight. A number 1 pick doesn't fix 17 wins. It doesn't teach role players how to defend. It doesn't make the arena loud again by itself. It doesn't wipe away years of bad basketball. but it does give the franchise oxygen. It gives fans a reason to care. It gives the front office pressure. It gives every team in the East a clock. If you're already built, already expensive, already chasing playoff runs, how many years do you really have before Washington shows up with a 6'9" problem you're not ready for? AJ Dybantsa is the kind of player who can make a dead rebuild feel alive again. For the rest of the NBA, that's where the problem starts.